Hi, how exciting, another Wildlife Conservation Network Expo. We're so glad to see you. I'm Dr. Lori Marker, and I'm the founder and executive director of the Cheetah Conservation Fund, and I'm here in Namibia. And we have a program that we've been working on for over 30 years to try to help save the cheetah. We're the largest global organization dealing with cheetah conservation based from here. We work from a variety of levels, from the basic biology and ecology of the cheetah to understanding communities and human-wildlife conflict and how to stop illegal wildlife trade. And with your support, we've done an awful lot. I want to tell you today a little bit more about some of our programs on the ground that we are working towards trying to help save the cheetah. The problem for the cheetah is that most of the populations are found outside of protected areas, and that's why our program focuses so much on people. On the lands, they're living with farmers, livestock, little wildlife in some areas, more wildlife in other areas like Namibia. And that's why our Namibian model is so important, to try to address this conflict for the cheetah in other ranges. One of our large programs here in Namibia really deals with the ecological research of understanding the whole system that cheetahs live within. That's the farming system, it's the wildlife system, it's the habitat that they're living on. And much of what we do are things like game counts to try to find out more about the trends of our wildlife. We've been doing this for now over 27 years since we've been based here on our farm called Elandsfrikte. And from that, we also do a lot of studies with camera traps to try to understand more about the cheetahs and leopards that are coming through and other predators. We've got a great team of interns and students that work directly with us and our ecological staff. Then we also work out in what are called the Eastern Communal Lands. And that's where we've expanded our camera trap program, as well as working with our scat detection dogs. There we actually collect samples of scat and we bring them back to our center here, where they go to our genetics laboratory. Tim Hoffman, who's our PhD student, is going to tell you more about how we use the scat detection dogs for the work that we're doing in the Eastern Communal Lands.
This is Enya. Enya is our scat detection dog here at the Cheetah Conservation Fund. And scat detection is one of the different ways dogs can contribute in conservation. So I think the most common practices are what has been done for centuries is to protect your livestock, to use dogs for hunt, to use dogs for protection. But, thank you Enya, nowadays we are actually using dogs to collect scientific information, to almost use them as a research tool. And in this case we are looking for scat. The reason we do that is because scat has a lot of information that is very valuable for us researchers. So we can look at an animal's diet, at an animal's genetics, hormones, presence, habitat use, and that's not even it. So there's a lot of things we can learn by finding animal scat. Unfortunately, it's quite difficult to find. The method is really nice. It's non-invasive. We don't need to catch the animal. We don't need to see the animal. We need nothing but collect the most easily accessible animal bite product. Just, in fact, it's actually not that easily available because there are few animals out there. We usually use this method for rare and elusive animals that are wide roaming, just like the cheetah. And this is why we're using the dogs. So the dog's nose is obviously a lot superior to ours. They can identify different smells, they can identify different scats just by the scent, and they are way superior when it's about finding them. So Enya here walks about at least twice, sometimes 3 times as much as I do, covers a lot more ground, sniffs way further than I could even see a scat from, and therefore increases the chance for us to find the rare cheetah scat. So when training a scat detection dog, of course it's important that the dog knows how to search, that the dog knows how to efficiently search in an environment, and most dogs sort of bring a good repertoire of search strategies with them anyway. It's just their natural instinct. The only thing we have to do is sort of shape it to what we are looking for. And in the case of looking for scat, I like her to sort of go in front of me from left to right, almost like a windscreen wiper, increasing the search area that we are efficiently sampling. And then the other thing that's important is, of course, that the dog can communicate to me that what she found is cheetah scat. Because honestly, to me, every scat looks fairly similar. So we chose sitting. So what Enya is going to do when she finds a cheetah scat, she's going to sit down, patiently wait and look at me. Ideally, she shouldn't touch or even touch the scat with her nose. We don't want to have any saliva or any foreign DNA on the scat we are trying to analyze later. So you can choose any different kind of indication method. We chose sitting just because it's advantages. You can see in the high bush, I can still see her, and she doesn't get lost.
To support the research that we're doing ecologically, we also use dogs in another way, and that is through our livestock guarding dog program, which helps through our Future Farmer of Africa program in looking at this human-wildlife conflict, where the predators are on the landscape with the livestock. There is wildlife on the land as well, and we use the livestock guarding dogs to help reduce the human-wildlife conflict. The dogs have been a great success, and Gephardt Nikor, who's been with us for over 20 years, is going to tell you more about how we place the dogs and the work that he does with the farming community through our Future Farmer of Africa program.
I see my role as kind of a middleman between the organization and the farmers, meaning that I'm kind of the link between the organization and the farmers, so therefore I see myself playing a very important role.
So Gebs, the livestock guarding dog program and the farmer training program is very well known at CCF, but sometimes the people don't understand how it actually works, how it works on the ground. You know, not here at CCF Centre, but out in the farms. What can you tell us about, you know, the program to kind of sum it up how it works?
I would say that it can only work when you have, when the CCF and the organization has good relations with the farmer, so that the farmer will do his best whenever problems are likely to arise when you train a dog to look after sheep or goats, no matter in terms of bad behavior or so. So yeah, so the human factor is very important, and then also for the farmer also to be willing to be patient, and also to be willing to make corrections whenever there's problems with a dog. But then also it's a matter of educating and also inform farmers in general that taking care of a livestock guarding dog should be part of taking care of his livestock management. Yeah, because he also he tried to take good care of his livestock in terms of health and so on. So he should integrate the dog as part of that.
Do you feel that, you know, at CCF Centre we've got the model farm that farms, you know, cattle as well as the goats, the sheep, and we breed the dogs here. Do you think that the fact that we've got that model farm kind of makes a difference, or it makes it easier, or it gives us more credibility because we're practicing what we preach, as it were?
Yeah, it definitely helps, because a farmer can then come here and show and seeing how we do things, and then that can motivate the farmer then to set up a similar setup, put up a similar setup that can also work, because he sees how it's working. It's not just on paper, but he can see it with his own eyes how it's working. But what I find is that many farmers have a general idea of using livestock guarding dog, but they might lack the understanding between the condition of the dog, how important it is to have the dog to be in good condition, that then equals good performance in the field. Sometimes there's a lack that where you find that the working dog, the livestock guarding dog, health and body condition is not great, and that can affect his performance. So I try to convince them to say, when the dog is in good physical condition, he's likely to perform at his best. Meaning that when the dog is working at his best, then he can save the farmer money in terms of livestock not killed by predators.
So they'll just be more efficient. You know, it's like a tool. If you keep a tool sharp and you keep it clean,
Yes.
and you keep it safe,
Yeah.
then you're going to get a better job out of it.
Yeah.
And that's the same with the dogs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but it's the same also with livestock. If the livestock, the sheep that the farmer is gonna sell at an auction or so, it's in good physical condition, he's likely to get good top dollars for it.
Now you've learned a lot about our programs here in Namibia, and they've led to training communities and community workers throughout actually all the Cheetah Range countries. We're working in Somaliland right now, and there's also human-wildlife conflict, but that human-wildlife conflict is also leading to illegal wildlife trade, where the cheetahs are out and other predators catching livestock, and the rural communities don't know what to do, and what they've done is actually steal cheetah cubs and then tried to sell them, which is illegal in the country, against the law, and they're going into the Middle East. What we've been doing for a number of years now has been to try to understand more about why the trade is going and what we can do about it. And that's where, for the last couple years, we've been very, very active in Somaliland. Now, unfortunately, we have over 50 cheetahs that we're taking care of there. From that, the cheetahs have to have, food and housing and staffing, and we don't want more cheetahs to come in. And we're so fortunate in the last 10 months we've not had cheetah come in. But that's because we've been so involved in a lot of the community-based work. We've done awareness campaigns, we've traveled through much of the region, we've put together the governments of Somaliland and Ethiopia for regional border. We've worked with veterinarians from both Somaliland as well as Ethiopia to teach them more about the care of not only cheetah cubs if they're confiscated, but to work with the farming community to reduce that conflict, that human-wildlife conflict that we're dealing with, which is driving the illegal wildlife trade. So much of the work that we're doing in Somaliland is being replicated actually from what we've done in Namibia. Although we have to tweak it and change it, but that's really what I've spent a lot of the last couple of years dealing with, is trying to save the cheetahs in the Horn of Africa. So our successes in the last couple of years in Somaliland have brought us forward to the point that the government is working so closely with us. We have over 50 cheetahs in Somaliland. They're in 3 safe houses. We've got a small veterinary clinic. But the government has given us a large piece of land to develop a sanctuary outside of the city. It's about an hour outside of the city in the bush. And we have a master plan that we are going to be starting to develop now. And from that, it'll be over 800 hectares with our cheetah facilities similar like here, and it'll be the start of a national park, the first national park in Somaliland. And we're looking not only at that, but at other areas that may eventually be national parks as well. And we want to keep cheetahs living free and in the wild. Working together with the Somaliland government and the Namibian government, we're making great strides. And together we think that communities can be the solution. And we are working on all of these communities throughout Namibia, Somaliland, through our Future Farmer of Africa program to save the cheetah in the wild for future generations. And thank you for your support. You've been a major player and partner with us in the work that we're doing to save the cheetah.